What's going on, YouTube? It's a new segment. I'm going live on YouTube for my first time, man. Trying to get everybody to tune in, tap in. So if you live, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, go check out my video with Boosie Heavyweight. Um, Release therapy coming out soon, so you go pre-save that. The link will be in the description. So for this segment of me going live, this is a new thing I'm doing. It's called story time. So I'm gonna get on YouTube and I'm gonna go live with everybody and I'm gonna let them know little stories in my life, you know what I'm saying? So this story right here, this one I met Paul Wall and Krizz Kaliko on tour. Now I'm taking y'all all the way back. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing that been happening. Well, it been happening. It ain't happened recently, I guess, you feel me? So I want to say 2007, 2008. I can't even really remember. 2007, 2008. I don't know. I was like 14 years old. I just started rapping. I had recorded like 2 songs with Mars. I only had like 2 songs. So he was dropping the album out. Grind Music, The Movement. I think Mars, Grind Music, The Movement. Shout out Mars, man. He taught me everything I know with the music shit at a young age. And he took me under his wing, and you know what I'm saying? So around that time, he was dropping the album. He was coming to do a tour, opening up for Tech Nine and Paul Wall for the Fire and Ice tour. So he had a couple dates that I was able to do. So, because I was still in school at the time. So we end up coming. Well, he ended up coming down. So we get to just my first time. I ain't never been on tour. I ain't never really seen none of this. Go downtown Cleveland. We was downtown Cleveland. Went downtown Cleveland, seen the buses, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking, see Paul Wall bus, bitch laid out, Tech Nine and them bus, you know what I'm saying? They got a bunch of people on there. So we going through what they would call sound check. So like if you get on a tour or you got a show, anybody who don't know how to do music or anything, you gotta go to sound check. So sound check, you will go to the venue early, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? Go to the venue early, and then you rehearse your set, whatever, make sure the mics, make sure the levels and everything is all right. So blase with all that, you feel me? So I walk in, first person I got to meet was Cut Calhoun. So now I'm frequently new to Tech Nine and them for real. I never really listened to him as I was growing up, but around that time my dad was putting me on, and I was fucking with him. I was fucking with Cut Calhoun, I was fucking with Krizz Kaliko, I was fucking with the whole Strange Music camp at the time. So I met Calhoun. He was real cool dude, shook up with me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody even hassling me or nothing. At this time, I'm 14, you know what I'm saying? I'm walking in, ain't nobody said nothing to me yet, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of more, waiting on somebody to tell me get the fuck out of here type shit. But obviously I'm good because I'm on the tour with them, so, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. So I met him, he was real cool. So I'm sitting there chilling, I'm walking around, you know what I'm saying? I see Paul setting up his shit. Paul setting up his own shit though. So he putting his, you know what I'm saying, his man's in there helping, but he's sitting right there, he laying out his grills, laying out his bobbleheads and shit like that. So I'm looking at the shit like, damn, that's really Paul Wall, you know what I'm saying? Cause I was real big Houston fan, Bun B, UGK, Pimp C, Mike Jones, the whole South, whole Houston, the whole every movement they had going on with that, I was really into that. So I met him, I was like, man, let me go up here and just talk to him. I was by myself at the time too. So I walked up to him, I was like, what's going on, bro? He's like, man, just chilling, grinding. He just talking to me, you know what I'm saying? He keeping it real funky, and he was just real humble. And I remember that about him, like him being humble. He didn't brush me off like a couple artists I done met before. They didn't brush me off type shit. You know what I'm saying? He was real humble. He talked to me, and then I admired his hustle, because his hustle was like, anybody could have just sat up there and did his thing. He sat right there and displayed his own shit and put his own merch up, you know what I'm saying, and right there, and took pictures and dapped up and talked to everybody that was around, you know what I'm saying, at the time. So I thought that was dope, you know what I'm saying, at 14, meeting somebody famous as where he was at that time. You know what I mean? I'm just started rapping. I only got 2 motherfucking songs, you know what I'm saying? So from doing that, you know what I'm saying, talking to him, chopping it up with him, he was real cool, man. He talked to me, and then later, like, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit before I go back to the story, but, fast forward, I even reached out to him later on Twitter, And he had sent me Asylum Records number. He had told me, he was like, I can't promise to get you signed. You know, this me just being on Twitter. It's like, this when Twitter first started, when ain't nobody really even know what the fuck it was at the time. So, but yeah, going back to that, so I just admired it that he, you know, how he kept it humble with me. He took the picture with me, chopped it up with me. He wasn't on no fake shit. He wasn't on no phony shit. He was real cool. And still to this day, I still respect him, and I still, you know what I'm saying, wish him the best with all his music. So later on, show start, you know what I'm saying? So now we lit, we live, we opening up. I get on stage, turn that motherfucker up. Now my hair was kind of more similar to this the second day. The first day I had my braids. The second day, if you see the pictures, my shit was looking like this. But we came in that bitch, we went live, went crazy, watched Tech and everybody else, watch all the strange music people they did, they set. And then later that night, it was Krizz Kaliko first album, like it was his like release. So he was out there politicking with the people, sitting around, chilling. You know, we was up in that motherfucker holding the posters up. We already selling merch, you know what I'm saying, with Mars and them. They got the block CEOs, shirts, everybody going crazy. Just the love was there, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up talking to Krizz Kaliko, just sitting right next to him, just chopping it up. Now, you know, forgive me if I don't really remember, you know, our motherfucking conversation at the time, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Krizz Kaliko. He is on my new EP that's dropping October 28th. That's within a couple days. So y'all go grab that pre-save, that Apple Music, go to my Koji and go buy it. You know what I'm saying? The link will be in the description. But shout out Krizz Kaliko. We got more music coming out. But they're chopping up with him and just meeting with Krizz Kaliko, just sitting there with him, and I didn't get to meet Tech. I still haven't met Tech 9, which, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get one of these meet and greet packs. I'm gonna just meet with him, you know what I'm saying, just to see, you know what I'm saying, one of my top 5 artists. But sitting there with Krizz Kaliko and just how much that he embraced in me as a young dude and was just chopping it up with me and just letting me know, you know, certain shit about music. Because I remember that part. He said something about, we was talking about something about some fucking music. I can't really remember the conversation for real, but we was talking about something for music. He had gave me a little bit of advice and shit like that. And then just watching the people, just watching how he interacted with his fans, how he shook everybody's hand, laughing, joking, drinking beers with him, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was drinking beers, but I know everybody was in that motherfucker drunk. But that shit was lit and it was live. So just my experience at 14, my first tour, opening up for 2 big artists, you know what I'm saying, and to have a Tech 9, you know, artist Krizz Kaliko to even, you know, put me up under this wing and have Paul Wall, you know what I'm saying, spit game to me and chop it up with them, and I thought it was real dope. So, you know, I just want to, you know, tell people about what I had going on at 14, what I was doing, you know what I'm saying, because the next day we had another show with them. We turned that motherfucker up. I was signing titties and shit, you know, young, out there dumb, you know what I'm saying? My pops was having fun. Shout out to my pops, you know what I'm saying? He was through that motherfucker going crazy. We just had a good time, man, and that let me know at a young age that this is really what I wanted to do, and just rocking the crowds and seeing the people and just watching their stage performance and watching how people fuck with them and how they interact with them. Man, it was super dope. I was fucking with it. And I had a great time, you know, at a young age, you know what I'm saying? I remember Cut tried to, we was walking out of one of the shows, and they was in the tour bus, and Cut was trying to get me on that motherfucker. And Mars was like, nah. But he, you know what I'm saying, you know, in my mind, I'm like, fuck that. Let me go on the bus, you know what I'm saying? I'm young, I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on in that bus, you know what I'm saying? But I do now, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get on that motherfucking bus, he ain't let me. So we went back to the hotel. You know what I'm saying, woke up and got ready for the next show the next day or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it was a great experience. I always would cherish it. I remember it, man. I fucked with it because it put me in that, you know, it made me want to perform a lot more than do music. And I was only 2 songs in, and that was like, I think the tour was like my 2nd or 3rd show type shit that I ever did. So for me to go up there and have the support with Mars, you know what I'm saying? He let me come out there and rock with him on his set. Then I'm featured on the album, you know what I'm saying? So that was a real big thing for me at 14. So I felt like, you know, I should express that with my YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? It's my first time going live. Sorry if I don't, you know, get it all right, you know what I'm saying? Put it in the comments. Tell me what I should do next. How should I do it? What's another story y'all want to hear? Anything. Y'all just put it in the comments. Tap in with me, man. I'm in this bitch. Hey, Trey Riverz, Release Therapy, October 28th. Go pre-save it. Go to my coach and you can buy it right now before it drops. You know what I'm saying? Pre-save it on your Apple Music, pre-save it on your Spotify. Follow me at Trey Riverz, T-R-A, Riverz with a Z. You know what I'm saying? On all platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, man. Y'all tap in with me, and I'll be back with y'all tomorrow with another story time from the kid. B.I.